What's up guys, Riding with D. So you want to buy your kid an electric dirt bike? Which one's right for you? In this video, let's find out. Alright guys, so the first bike we're going to talk about today is the Razer MX650. So this one, my actual 5-year-old daughter does ride this particular bike. She's actually learning on it. So a few specs here. This thing is only about 100 watts. So max speed, 8 miles an hour-ish. Of course, you can get these training wheels for it. I'll leave a link to everything below. Hopefully this will help you out. We'll also talk about another bike you can think about. My daughter's very small, so we'll actually get to see her on it in this video, so just keep that in mind. But the seat height for this, approximately 17 inches. So yeah, 17 inches, 100 watts, max speed, 8 miles an hour. Is this one for you? It's great for a beginner to let them get to know sort of how it works. Toggle switch here to cut it on and off, charger right here. The throttle is a half throttle, so meaning only half of it you would turn, and then they have the other grip they can hang on to here. So yeah, this could be for you. Let's check it out and see what else we got. All right, so the MX350, you know, this bike and the other one, they are around the $200 price point. Take a look at the sales coming up and everything. Sometimes you can find these things cheaper. You know, just keep that kind of stuff in mind, the type of season that we're in. A lot of times you can find stuff, the price fluctuating. So this one here is the 350. Most of the Razors, besides the 125, usually that tells you the seat as far as the watts that are actually. So this one has 350 watts, 24 volts. The seat height is maybe 17.5 inches, something around in there. My daughter can fit on this one as well. It's a little bit faster. You can put the same type of training wheels on this one. Probably goes around 12 miles an hour or so, like that. But yeah, same thing here, toggle switch. You charge it on the left side. And other than that, same when it comes to the throttle, it is half throttle, meaning only half of it, so they can hold on, and hopefully it'll kind of help with the whiskey throttle, which is always going to happen. Actual rubber grips compared to the other one is just like a little foam right there. So this one you can sort of tell they put a little bit more time in it as far as putting it together compared to the other one. It feels a little bit more put together, but yeah, still a Razer brand. Obviously wire brakes whenever it comes to that, just on one side. Not like the other ones we're going to see here in a minute. So yeah, is this one right for you? You know, check it out. All right, so the SX500, this obviously is another Razer product here. This one can kind of be a little confusing, kind of like what we talked about before. Most of the time, whatever number we have is usually around the wattage that you have on this one. 36 volts, around the 650 watt range. So it's going to be a good bit faster than your other Razors that we talked about. The seat height is going to be a lot more. We're getting close to the 22 inch whenever it comes to the seat height for this thing. You know, obviously a little bit older. Whenever it comes, my son rode this one for a while. You can obviously outgrow it pretty quick. Suspension, you know, good enough for around the yard. Whenever you start doing little bitty jumps, much to be desired. But hey, these things are easily upgradable. This one does have front and back brakes. So you're kind of getting that. They are wired, they are not hydraulic. We will see some that are hydraulic. On-off switch here, charging port here. If you're looking for something that'll upgrade as far as electro and code, this one is usually what people go after because you don't have to modify the frame and everything. It's easier to put the batteries in and everything like that. But yeah, so this one, you know, maybe getting into the 15 to 18 mile per hour range. Whenever I'm on it, I think I get it maybe around 16 miles an hour, something like that. Of course, that is all the way charged, pegged out, going to the max. So is this one right for you? Who knows? But yeah, that's kind of what we're getting at with this one. On to the next. All right, so the MX650. Now Razer does have another one like a Pro, which is going to be bigger than this one. It's going to go against another bike that we have, but this one was kind of their big little flagship model whenever it came to the little dirt bikes. This one has been upgraded, so as far as the suspension, how that looks, I've already popped the tire on it because it has too much torque nowadays. But the seat height for what this one is set up as, it is going to be a little bit taller. We're looking at about 24 inches. One thing to keep in mind about this one, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but there is an adjustment here how you can set the height with the actual shock. So you can move it and then it's going to lower the seat height a little bit for you. Same power as the other one. Most of the time this one is the one they don't necessarily want to upgrade. Both of these bikes, you know, they retail I think $700 and something, which is, but you can find them on sale a lot for in the 400s, maybe close to $500. Again, that's both bikes whenever we're talking about this one. Again, 650 volts, I'm sorry, 650 watts, 36 volts on the factory one. This one is a lot different because it has been upgraded with Electro & Co. Kit to give this thing a whole lot more power. It's going to be very similar to the other one. The other one is wider, meaning the SX500. This one is your skinnier, you're getting more to like a little motocross type bike. This one has been upgraded to hydraulic brakes. You can buy them for these bikes. It comes with just wired front and rear brakes, so keep that in mind if you are looking at these. Most people go for the other ones. They're a little more comfortable, a little bit wider of a seat if they're beginners. Same power though, so if they do get more experience, you're not going to move up to this one. You're going to go to something completely different, which we'll talk about in a second. But yeah, is this one what's best for you, or is it going to be the next one? Let's find out. All right, so we're stepping up the game a little bit here. This is the Ebok 2.0. Now they have different versions now. They have an upgraded version from this one as well. They still have this one, I believe, this actual particular model. So yeah, the 2.0, they also have a 1.6, same thing as far as wattage. So 2.0, 2000, 1.6, 1600. Big step up compared to the Razors we were talking about. Again, those are 650. This one is 60 volts, 2000 watts. So lithium battery, unlike the other one from the factory, they are lead acid batteries. So keep that in mind. Again, big step up here. Comes from the factory with hydraulic brakes, front and rear. This one has been upgraded with an Electro & Co kit. This one is going to be the cheaper one to upgrade, simply because you don't have to necessarily change the battery. It already comes with a 60 volt lithium battery, so pretty good battery in these. It'll just be the engine. Now, a couple of problems I've had with this one. So one, wasn't necessarily a problem, but the throttle assembly was just crazy the way it reacted, the way it felt. So this one is from Electro & Co. You could probably find an Amazon knockoff as far as just the 3 phases to control the power on it. From the factory, they are like little dials that are down here. They have been taken out on this one, but they're little turn knobs where you can control the power from the factory. Another problem I've had is the rotors. Whether it's my kid wrecking it or whatever, they have bent really easily. Had to replace them. I've actually replaced the whole brake system on this one. The brakes that come on it are really good, but again, with the rotors bending, it actually damaged the caliper, so I replaced the whole thing. Other than that, the actual suspension is great. It's actually adjustable. The front forks are adjustable, so that is really good. This is kind of my son's go-to here. This one, again with the upgrade, has plenty of power. If you do not upgrade it and it's from the factory, you're still going probably 20 miles an hour or more. It still has plenty of speed to have fun, at least carry an adult around like me. Not even to mention my kids carries them around real easy. Now when you upgrade them, it's a whole different animal. You can get close to 50 miles an hour on these things with just that upgrade, so keep that in mind. Another problem that I had was the chain, the factory chain. I don't know if it's because of the upgrade, but it just wasn't doing too well. It kept sort of jumping off, so I upgraded the chain on this one. Haven't had the problem since. So yeah, looking at the seat height here, yeah, it's getting on up there, so you know, maybe 25.5 inches. So again, 10-year-old son, this is his go-to. He loves to get on this one, and compared to a lot of the other ones, so keep that in mind. If you're looking for this for your kid, definitely upgrade. But with that upgrade, you're having to spend a lot more money. You know, you're getting closer to the $1,500 mark, somewhere around in there. Again, look for sales. Hopefully you can find one. $1,500, $1,600 is about where they go. Now they do have different versions nowadays, so keep that in mind. You might be able to save from one to the other. But yeah, nice bike. Definitely worth the money if this is something that you want, if it fits your kid good. You can ride around as an adult. They seem to do really well. On to the next one. All right, now we're kind of getting into a little more serious territory here. So the Apollo RFN, this is my wife's bike. So she's 5'2", fits her pretty good. I'll go ahead and take a look at the seat height here. So the seat height on this guy is gonna be around 33 inches. So you're looking at close to like a nice little MX bike, like the 85cc race box, things like that. Sort of similar to the size of this thing. Obviously this thing is heavier when it comes to that, but 74 volts peak output, meaning this has different modes. So if you just hit rocket mode, it's not all the time, and it doesn't stay in rocket mode, it's just a brief stint of power. You're looking at about 12,500 watts. However, most of the time the average ride is about 7,000-ish, somewhere around those lines. Now they do have different versions of this thing out now. It's probably more powerful. This is the previous model. I know they've come out with different ones, but so adjustable suspension here, full reservoir when it comes to hydraulic brakes. They really remind me of like really nice mountain bike brakes. The pegs leave a little bit to be desired. So for a full review of this thing, just check out one of my older videos. I did a full review on it. But yeah, definitely a good bike for a beginner rider that's an adult. This is something that is you're gonna get a good feel for it. Tires, you know, leave some to be desired. But again, that comes with more experience. But just starting out, it's a great bike, easy to ride. Throttle is very easy, has the kill that kills the throttle whenever you pull the brake in, just like all these other electric bikes. Of course, if you bypass it, that's different, but for a beginner, that's definitely needed. So yeah, definitely good for an adult rider, someone getting a little bit older, maybe your wife, or maybe a teenage kid as they get taller. Wife's 5'2", fits her great. You can be taller, I can ride this thing. I will say that the bars are a little bit lower for me. Of course, I'm 5'10", and I have to sort of lean over more so than what I would like if I rode this thing all the time. But again, look at some of my older videos. You can see a full review on this thing. But is this bike for you? You know, maybe so, but let's check out some more. Right, the beloved Surron Ultra Bee. Yeah, I definitely love this bike. It's a fun bike, easy to ride. It's almost like cheating in the trails. It's, you know, you're always in the right gear, right? That's one great thing about these electric bikes. Now, if you check out one of my earlier videos about this bike, not the update, but the earlier one, so I had a problem with it. It was the throttle, the whole assembly. They really didn't ask too many questions. Just told them the code. They sent me a whole new assembly out. I haven't had any problems since. Has maybe a few hundred miles on it now, so it ain't like I ride all the time. It's all trail riding whenever I ride most of my bikes, so I'm not gonna just rack up tons of miles, you know. But this is definitely a go-to for me. You're looking at about 15,000 watts. It has plenty of power when it comes to the trails. One major upgrade that you definitely need to do, at least in my opinion, is to make this thing feel a lot more stable. It grips better. It's gonna lower your top speed, but is the wheels and tires, okay? I went the KKE route, obviously 18, 21, so definitely worth it for me. I got the RC tires, so they grip really good. They're not quite gummy or nothing of that nature, but they have a lot of grip and it will lift up the front end really easily. Anything you would need to do. Now keep in mind, for this bike, it is belt/chain. So you do have a belt system on the actual, what you would call on the left side. On the right side, you have the chain going back to the sprocket. So kind of odd when you compare it to other bikes. I haven't had a problem with it. I've read that people, as it wears down, they start having a problem with the belts actually slipping. Would just a replacement on the belt fix it? I don't know. I haven't had that problem yet. This thing's been pretty good for me. Obviously another upgrade with the actual skid plate down there. Something for me with my trail riding is a must. Fully adjustable suspension. To me, the suspension feels great. A lot of people want to upgrade them. I get it. It ain't like I'm doing an MX track on this particular bike. For the trails, it's been great. You get a lot of function with this thing. You get reverse, you get all the different modes. You know, this one in particular actually has blinkers and stuff on it. In my state, it hasn't been passed through NHTSA, so I can't get a tag for it or anything like that. But in your state, you might be able to, so something for you to check on. Obviously, it has a key ignition, all of that, on-off switch. Much better brakes, in my opinion, compared to the Apollo. These brakes do really well. I've never had any problems out of them. Pretty impressed about the brakes on this bike. So, yeah, definitely a go-to for me. Let's see what kind of seat height we are talking about here. So we're looking at right at 34 inches, so about an inch higher than the Apollo. When this thing came out, it was a great deal. Starting to get a decent amount of competition though, $6,500-ish as far as, but that's actually coming to your door. The Apollo, you know, you can start to find them used, but you know, maybe around $5,000, $4,500. If you find them used, you can get them a lot cheaper. A lot of people get them and then maybe they want to move on from them. But this one, I see them hold their value relatively well. Will that be the case years from now? I don't know, because there's a lot of competition when it comes to it. Extremely comfortable seat on this bike. You really can't beat this particular bike. This one has the back pegs, have a passenger. Definitely need to replace the front ones in my opinion. With my boots, I was slipping a good bit. After I replaced the pegs on it, it's done great. So is this bike for you? Maybe so. Great for adults, maybe a teenager or something like that, but let's move on to the next one. All right, so the KTM Freeride. Did a full review on this not long ago, so just look at my other videos if you want to see, you know, more or less a full review. Pretty impressed by the bike. We're kind of getting into more serious territory here. They're about to come out with a newer version. However, from whatever I've seen, the newer version looks better in my opinion, but as far as the power, I was kind of shocked that they didn't kind of go more after Stark Varg or just had more power to it. I'm sure they're more trail oriented, but kind of shocked here. So about 18,000 watts. I think the newer one is going to be a little bit more than that, but this one here about 18,000. So you are getting a little bit more than say something with the Ultra Bee. This one obviously just chain driven. However, it is liquid cooled, so a little bit more serious as far as what you're getting on this bike. Will it last longer? You know, yet to be determined, but this one does feel like it has more rigidity to it, the way the fixtures are, the suspension is better, things like that. One thing that is not good on this one, just like the Ultra Bee, now the size of the wheels and tires are great, but as far as the tires that actually come on this one, at least in my opinion, were just crap. They slid around a lot. I mean, I could see it on like really modern trails, but even the type of stuff I do, they were just sliding a lot. I mean, especially in the fall, it just wasn't working out. So I put some MX34s on this one, and it's definitely fixed that problem. It feels a lot more stable and everything like that. So let's kind of see what so again, this is more of your full-size bike. Not quite full size, so we're looking at a little bit more, so about 35 inches. So it seems like every one of them we look at, we're kind of going up an inch in seat height. So however, where the Ultra Bee shines over this one is you do not get as much when it comes to you know, some of the technology with it. So what I mean by that is you do have a small display up here. The Ultra Bee has reverse, this one does not. You do have a horn and you do have a light, which is great. But it's kind of weird too. So you cut it on, you actually have to hit the start button. It looks just like a starter. And then you kind of switch your modes and you have to hold it down. It flashes and does all this thing. The Ultra Bee, you just click it in that mode as you're going and you just keep going. So if you're all of a sudden coming to a more technical area, slow it down to where you're not having as much torque or something like that, you could just click it down into a different mode. They both have traction control, everything like that. The Ultra Bee, I feel like it, you know, does a little more for whatever reason. It feels like it grips a little better. This one can kind of, you know, it has a lot of power and sort of gets that. The Ultra Bee does too, but I do feel like the Ultra Bee handles that a little bit better than this one. But once you get used to this one, suspension, in my opinion, is way better. It just feels like a bike that maybe, hopefully will have a lot of longevity. MSRP on these things is just, you know, stupid. However, now everybody, all the dealerships want to get rid of them. You can get these cheaper than an Ultra Bee. So with that, I would say get the KTM over the Ultra Bee. But whenever everything sort of catches up, if these things are all gone and the new KTM is a ton of money, the Ultra Bee, in my opinion, is hard to beat for the price. But again, other things are starting to come out that will, you know, sort of compete with these. So yeah, if you have any questions, please leave a comment below about these bikes. So let's keep going and see how these things fit. All right, so obviously we got the MX125 here and the MX350. So which one of these you like the most?
Me?
Yeah, you. You like this one the most. Why do you like this one?
Cause.
Why? But you ride that one. Why do you ride that one instead of this one?
Cause this one was smaller.
Oh, because it's smaller. So why do you like, you just like the way this one looks, I guess?
What?
So you just like the way this one looks, I guess?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess it looks a little different. All right, well, obviously, well, that one has training wheels on it, so I guess they help you out a good bit, huh? The training wheels. All right, do you want to cut it on and go for a little ride then? Show everybody how it fits you? How old are you?
5.
Okay, so it fits you pretty good, don't it? All right, well, turn it on. Let's see if it can go.
Now what?
You can go a little bit. Do you remember how to do the brake and stuff?
Yep.
All right, that was good. Keep going. And brake. Do you like that one now?
Yeah.
All right. So do you like it better than the other one now, or do you want us to switch the training wheels to the other one?
I like this one.
No, you like that one now. All right. Well, I guess we can move on to the next one. You'll ride it one more time and show them how good you can ride it?
Yeah.
And stop. All right. All right, so you're 10 years old, right?
Yeah.
All right, so go ahead and get on it. Let's see how you fit on there. Do you think it fits you good, or does it feel too big for you or too small, or what?
No, it doesn't really.
It doesn't really. Does it fit you good, or
Yeah,
do you think?
It does.
So right now you're pretty much flat-footed. It looks like your knee is bent slightly. 10 years old, the Ebok 2.0. Seems like it fits a 10-year-old pretty good. Let's see how it is to ride.
This thing's really, okay, so it's a really powerful dirt bike. The brake is also pretty good right now, as it is. It's way less bumpier than the other dirt bikes. The yellow one and the green ones. It also doesn't trip you off every single time you hit a big rock. It's fast for as a little dirt bike as it can be. This is 1 out of 2 and 3. 2 and 3 are really powerful. Well, not too powerful, but 3's crazy, actually, kind of, for me. It's pretty fast. Normally isn't as bumpy as the yellow dirt bike. The yellow dirt bike will fling you off into the distance. This one can actually stay with you. The rock right here will also do that. You can go fast on these rocks and they won't trip you off as much as normally. It ain't dang it, so hard. Drifting ain't that really powerful as drifting with the yellow dirt bike. It's pretty high up right now. So drifting ain't gonna really be that much of a problem. Touching the ground isn't as easy for me as it is for the yellow dirt bike. It's a bit higher up and a bit more skinnier than the yellow dirt bike has a bit more weight on it than this one. This one's pretty light and stuff. It's really way more speedier. Dang it, it is kind of curvy though with the brakes with it.
All right, guys, if you're still staying tuned, thank you so much for watching. Please consider subscribing below. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think about all these bikes. If there's anything we missed, if you have any questions, just leave a comment below. Until next time, guys.